Okay, so today I wanted to make a video about what not to say to an alopecian. In case you're wondering, alopecia is just a fancy word for hair loss. So anyone losing hair from just what is the disease known as alopecia, alopecia areata, alopecia totalis, alopecia universalis, trichotilloma, cancer, anything doing chemotherapy, radiation, just anybody that does not have a lot of hair. I wanted to make a video of what not to say to them. And I would like to start out by emphasizing I have heard all of these things that I'm about to say. Most of them I've heard multiple times, and I try to laugh them off or joke, but they actually really hurt. And I'm going to also explain why you shouldn't say each of them. Okay. The first one is, why don't you just shave it off and accept it? Well, as you can see, I don't have a lot of hair at all, but I do have some. And I have been asked, why don't you just shave it off? Why don't you accept who you are? And I think I do a pretty good job accepting who I am. And this is actually the most hair that I've had in about 6 years now. So I'm not going to shave that off. And the fact that you want me to shave it off shows that there's something wrong with me, that there's something to be ashamed of by just having a little bit of hair. And I find that very offensive that you think that way, that you think that there's something wrong with me being okay with not having a completely slick head. And there's nothing wrong with having a slick head at all. It's just, I don't want that. I want to have as much hair as I can, but I want it to be my hair. Which kind of leads into my next one, why don't you wear a wig? Well, I used to wear a wig, but it was hot, it was itchy, it was annoying, it was a pain in the butt to style every day, and I didn't like it. It really drove me crazy. And there's a lot of people who do wear wigs, and I wore one for 3 years, and I just got tired of it. Once I graduated high school, I no longer wanted to wear it, and now I'm in college and thought people would be more accepting, and most are, but not everyone. But, yeah, it took me a long time to be able to not wear a wig, and I don't want to go back to wearing a wig. And, again, whenever people ask me why I don't wear a wig, it makes me feel like there's, again, something wrong with me being okay with walking around just like this. Makes me feel like I should be ashamed that, oh no, I'm a girl and I don't have a lot of hair. Let's cover that up. And again, if you do wear a wig, nothing at all is wrong with that. But that's not for me. And if you see somebody who doesn't have a lot of hair and they're not wearing a wig, don't just blatantly ask them why. There's probably a reason, and they don't have to explain it to you. It's a very personal decision whether or not to wear one. But saying that they should wear one is kind of hurts the ego a lot. So yeah, don't do that. Then, well, at least you're not dying. That makes it sound like I have no reason to be upset. Yes, I've mostly accepted myself, but whenever I hear people say these other things that I've mentioned and the things that I will mention, it's kind of hard to not be upset. And I try not to have pity parties. I mean, this is who I am, it's whatever, but don't tell me that I can't be sad. Yes, I'm very, very thankful that I'm not dying. You don't have to bring that up. I have every right to be upset about this as anyone else. I mean, don't act like I should be a pariah because I get sad about it sometimes. Just because, oh, be grateful for what you do have. I am. But that doesn't mean I can't be upset about what I don't have, especially whenever hair is linked to the very core of femininity. And a lot of times I'm thought of as less than because I don't have as much hair as most girls do. And so That really hurts. I know you're trying to, make me look at the bright side or whatever, but trust me, I've looked at all sides, and sometimes being sad helps, to be quite honest. Okay. This one I've only heard once, and it was when I was 16 and I was at a water park, and I was still wearing wigs at this point, but at a water park you can't wear a wig. You just can't. So I wasn't wearing one. And there were these kids, well, I say kids, they were probably 13-ish, and I was in the water, and I heard them say behind me, "Ew, stay away from her, she's gross." I think it's kind of obvious why you shouldn't say that to someone. That's just rude. And I just got out of the water, and I cried. It hurt a lot. Even though that's been almost 4 years since that happened now, it's still very fresh in my mind that somebody actually had that thought go through their head, even though they were young. There's no reason, age is never an excuse for you to say something like that, not even especially whenever you're in ear range. You shouldn't even say that about someone where they can't hear you. That's just wrong. And that's something that I do that does dwell in my mind a lot. Next is, what are you suffering from? I don't mind you asking why I don't have hair. I don't mind you asking if I have cancer. I'll gladly explain that I just have something called alopecia, that I'm not dying, all of that. But to say it in the wording, what are you suffering from? What makes you think I'm suffering? Do I look sick? Do I look like I'm dying? Because if so, then I don't want to look like I'm dying. I don't think I look like I'm dying. I just don't have a lot of hair. There are better ways to word it. I don't like that wording. It was really offensive to me. I didn't laugh it off, but I explained to her that I had alopecia, so it wasn't anything big. Well, to kind of satiate her, it still is kind of a big thing to me, but, to most people, once they find out you're not dying, then it's whatever. But yeah, it was just the way she worded it. It took me by surprise, and I didn't like it at all. It really upset me. Another thing is, oh, my hair's so long and thick, and I just don't know what to do with it. Come on. If I am within ear range, and you can see me, don't complain about your hair. Really, what? Why would you do that? I've had that happen so many times when people know that I'm nearly bald, or at some points in my life was completely bald. Why would you do that? I don't care what you say to your friends whenever I can't hear you. That's whatever. But most of the time I'm obviously in ear range. If you have long and thick hair, even if you have thin hair with bad split ends, whatever, complain about it where I can't hear you, because that's just gonna make me feel worse about myself. Because if you have hair problems, and what do I have? Just don't do that. The last one is pointing and whispering. Get this all the time when I'm out in public. I can see you. No, I can't hear what you're saying. I see you pointing at me. I see you whispering. I can draw inferences. I'm pretty good at that. And it makes me very self-conscious to see you pointing and whispering about me. I don't like it. Don't do it. Please. Okay, so these were just kind of talking about my experiences. If you have things that you don't like to hear, put them in the comments below. Or if you think I'm being too harsh, put it in the comments below. Start an argument. I really don't care what happens. I just wanted to put my feelings out there about how to talk to someone with alopecia, or how not to talk to them. Most of the time, just if you're gonna ask, don't harp on it. Don't say something that is gonna hurt their feelings, because, well, I'm kind of sensitive. I will never let you know you've hurt my feelings. But if you have said any of these things, then you probably have. Okay, well, thank you for your time.